Is that your phone? Yes, I've asked myself like 10 times. Bye, uncle. Take care. You too. There was a time when their faces filled the screen and their names were synonymous with fame, beauty, and talent. But suddenly, without warning, they disappeared. What happened to them? Where are the stars who shaped the golden era of Venezuelan television? Behind the silence are stories of rebirth, love, loss, and second chances. Do you have change for 20,000? Yes, don't worry. As always, Juan Carlos Alarcón. There was a time when Juan Carlos Alarcón's name was heard every afternoon on Venezuelan television. His charisma was so natural it seemed like he was born for the cameras. The young man, with a noble gaze and restless smile, debuted in the early 1990s, in a Venezuela where dreams were still recorded on tape and artists were real-life heroes. He was born in Mérida on October 27, 1971, surrounded by mountains and an air that already hinted at destiny. His training was rigorous. Acting Group 80 saw him grow. The Texo Group shaped him, and teachers like José Simón Escalona and Javier Vidal sparked his passion for acting. From there was no turning back. The public first met him on Club Disney, a show that marked an entire generation. Later came Arriba Juventud, where his contagious energy made him a reference for 90s youth. Every word and gesture came from a deep conviction, acting as a commitment to joy. But destiny had other plans. After starring in telenovelas like Viva la Juana la Virgen and El Cielo me explique, Juan Carlos decided to stop. Not because of lack of talent, but because he needed to reinvent himself away from the spotlight. Brazil became his refuge. In São Paulo, he discovered a new form of visual art. Inspired by the colors of Cruz Diaz, he began experimenting with digital images full of light, movement, and poetry. From that artistic search came Palabras Kaleidoscópicas, a book that reflects his new understanding of art, not fame but introspection. In interviews, he admits he lived every stage of an immigrant: nostalgia, silence, adaptation, but also something he never had in Venezuela: peace. I already feel at home, he says with the serenity that only time provides. Today, while many remember him for his TV roles, Juan Carlos builds a different legacy, made of colors, words, and memories. He did not abandon art, he simply changed stages. And in that creative silence, he is still the same actor who once conquered the screen, only now his audience is the world, watching him through the prism of his reinvention. Take a moment to relax, prepare your favorite tea or coffee, and enjoy this video with us. Maria Elena Heredia. Some artists don't need to remain in front of the camera to leave a mark. Their talent finds other paths, other voices. This is the story of Maria Elena Heredia, an actress who turned her art into a journey between countries, emotions, and stages. Born with uncommon sensitivity, she understood early that theater could be a school for the soul. She studied in London, where she learned classical acting discipline. Returning to Venezuela, she continued her studies at the National Theatre School, combining body movement, music, and artistic pedagogy. Every rehearsal and every class was a way of discovering herself. Her talent soon led her to children's theater productions that became part of many childhood memories: Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty, Tom Sawyer. Her versatility and joyful presence seemed endless. Her true leap to fame came through Venevisión telenovelas like Fabiola, La Revancha, El Sol Sale para Todos, and La Luna También. But another stage awaited. In 1998, she moved to Miami and reinvented her career as a voice actress, a craft requiring precision, sensitivity, and deep understanding of human emotion. Her voice, once making audiences laugh in shows like Cheverissimo or Cásate y Verás, now moved audiences from behind the scene. Netflix selected her to dub the Mexican series La Casa de las Flores into English, proof that her talent had no borders. She also created the children's character Pilitas, star of her own stories Las Aventuras de Pilitas and Los Planetarios. Today, Maria Elena divides her life between Mexico and the US. Guided by the same curiosity she had in her youth, She doesn't chase fame, but authenticity. She doesn't seek the spotlight, but her inner voice. Because true art doesn't need a stage. A sincere voice is enough to stay in the hearts of those who listen. 3. Roxana Chacon. There are faces engraved in the collective memory. Faces that evoke a time, a song, a childhood innocence that felt infinite. Roxana Chacon is one of those faces. Her smile lit up afternoons for thousands of Venezuelan children who saw her dance, act and dream on television. She began very young in Sábado Sensacional, as part of the Mini Pops. Among studio lights and applause, she discovered television could be home. Her natural charisma made her a favorite, unknowingly taking her first steps toward a career that would define the childhood of a generation. Her biggest leap came with El Club de los Tigritos, a massive, alongside Wanda, Isidoro, Salomon and others. She became a symbol of joy and freshness. Her presence was pure spontaneity, her laughter still recognizable decades later. But her role in the beloved series De Sol a Sol, with Servando and Florentino, sealed her place in television history. Just when her future in TV seemed secure, Roxana chose a different path. She moved to Panama, where she found stability, love and a new passion: marketing. Married to Panamanian pilot Eduardo de la Cruz and mother of a son, she discovered beauty in everyday life. Through social media, she remains connected to her Venezuelan fans. "We grew up together," she recalls with nostalgia. Today, Roxana no longer needs applause to shine. Her light comes from balance between who she was and who she is now. In every smile, she carries a part of that girl who believed dreams could change the world. And for many, she did. 4. Por Anabel Rivero. Some actresses conquer the screen without raising their voice. Their presence alone fills a scene with truth and emotion. Anabel Rivero was one of them. From her early roles in Viva la Muñeca de Trapo, Voltea pa que te enamores, and Amores Torrentes, she stood out for her authenticity. She didn't act, she lived her characters. Her success grew in Donde Está Elisa, a telenovela full of suspense and powerful feeling. There she shared the screen with major Latin American actors, proving her talent transcended borders. But at the height of her career, Anabel stepped away from television quietly. Her social media nearly disappeared. A private Instagram, an inactive Facebook. Some say she chose a peaceful life far from the spotlight. Others believe she is seeking balance between who she was and who she wants to be. In 2017, she made her last TV appearance in the Colombian production Venganza as Lina Duarte. After that, silence. But sometimes silence is also art. Perhaps she didn't retire, she just chose to live her own script, one that only she can write. 5. Pierina España. Before being a star, she was an obedient daughter. Before applause, she heard no from her parents time and time again, but when art calls, it accepts no refusal. This is the story of Pierina España, the woman who defied tradition to become one of Venezuela's great actresses. Born in Barcelona, and in Soategui on February 17, 1952, to Sicilian immigrants who fled war. She grew up in a home where discipline and family values were sacred. Her parents dreamed of stability for her, far from the unpredictable world of show business. But Pierina's heart beat for the stage. She trained at the Juan Suarez Theater School and later deepened her studies in Caracas, Madrid, Rome, Lima, and Paris. Each city shaped her. Breakthrough came with La Hija de Juana Crespo, where she played the stepmother of José Luis Rodríguez. Her nuanced performance moved audiences and opened doors to many lead roles. Then came Sangre Azul, for which she won the Elísir Award for Best Leading Actress. In the 70s and 80s, Pierina España was a symbol of excellence. After years away from television, she returned unexpectedly in 2006 in the radio drama Fortunata y Jacinta. Her strong voice moved fans who had grown up watching her on TV. Today, at 71, she lives in Venezuela, away from the spotlight, but not away from art. She says she would return to theater if the project inspires her, because for her, acting is still a vital need. If you liked this video, Leave a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a thank you for your honest. 6. Amber Diaz shone young and intensely, like a star that suddenly lights up the sky. Her natural charm and mix of innocence and determination made her the face of a generation. Her journey began at RCTV, but the role that made her unforgettable was Maria Solita. Sweet, innocent, and beloved by viewers. Television found in her a new muse whose sincerity crossed the screen. Later came Amores que Matan, where she acted alongside Carolina Tejera and Luis Fernandez. Her performance showed a more mature, powerful side. But in 2009, after Los Misterios del Amor, she made a surprising decision. She left television. No scandal, no big announcement, just silence. She enrolled in university to study psychology, convinced that the human mind was the most interesting stage of all. Acting taught me to know others, she once said. Psychology taught me to know myself. She later began working in private banking, a world far from show business. Married and happy, she doesn't miss the spotlight, but still carries the creative spark that led her to act. When she announced her return to the stage in the play at 250, La Cuba Libre, her fans celebrated the return of a part of her that never faded. Today, Amber Diaz lives peacefully. She learned that success is not always in applause but in being true to oneself. 7. Iván Romera. In the golden age of Venezuelan TV, when telenovelas brought families together and actors became part of daily life, one name stood out: Iván Romera. His presence commanded respect. His intense yet calm gaze revealed an artist fully committed to his craft. His career grew in major RCTV and Venevisión productions. But his most unforgettable role was Tito Camacho in Amores de Fin de Siglo, which earned him the Meridiano de Oro for Artist of the Year. Iván is a perfectionist. Each character is like a computer, he once said. You have to erase the previous one and start from zero. Unlike many colleagues, he never left theater. He calls it his temple where acting is pure without edits or camera. Today he remains in Venezuela, dedicating himself to art, teaching new actors, and defending the dignity of the craft. For him, acting was never a job, it was a way of living. 8. Hugo Vasquez. Tall, elegant, with a smile made for television. This is how many remember Hugo Vasquez. Behind the handsome face was a sensitive and thoughtful man who one day chose freedom over fame. He began as a model, representing major brands like Hugo Boss, but acting became his true language. His most beloved role was police officer Jordi Rosales in Mi Gorda de Bella, a character full of warmth and humor that earned him the affection of all Latin America. He acted in many telenovelas, proving he was more than just a pretty face. But at the height of his career, he chose to step away. No drama, just a peaceful decision. He moved to New York, where he enjoys simple pleasures: cooking, playing piano, golfing. On social media, he shares moments of his quiet life. He still looks much the same smile, the same light in his eyes. Hugo didn't disappear, he just changed stages. He understood that fame is temporary, but passion and gratitude are forever. 9. Gledis Ibarra. For decades, Gledis Ibarra was one of the strongest presences on Venezuelan TV. Her firm voice and natural acting made her a symbol of authenticity. From Por Estas Calles, a telenovela that portrayed the country like no other, to roles in Cosita Rica, Ciudad Bendita, and La Mujer de Judas, Gledis made audiences believe every character she played. So when she announced her move to England, many saw it as a farewell. But it wasn't, it was a pause. Tired of noise and industry instability, she searched for peace. "I didn't leave Venezuela," she once said. "I took Venezuela with me." In England, walking among parks and rainy streets, she rediscovered the beauty of living without makeup, schedules, or script. She still writes, teaches, reflects, and expresses her love for the craft. Her story reminds us that art doesn't die when the lights go out, only when passion fades, and in her that flame still burns. Thank you for staying until the end. If you're still here, come